Transforming heartbreak into strength, the ultimate rebirth. Imagine if I told you that she anticipates your downfall. She expects you to pursue her, to plead, and to become engulfed in your own sorrow. However, what she does not foresee is your remarkable ability to rise up with such strength and speed that she can no longer recognize the man she once left behind. Let's clarify one important point. Experiencing heartbreak is essentially a test of your true character. When everything you relied on, everything you believed to be real, disappears in an instant, how do you respond? Many men fail this test. They react in precisely the way she anticipates. They spiral into despair, send countless texts, overanalyze every detail, and sit in darkness replaying past conversations, questioning what went wrong. While they remain trapped in this cycle of self-doubt, she moves on, fully aware that she holds the advantage. The stark reality is that you were never meant to depend on her in the first place. A stoic man recognizes that forming attachments can be perilous. He loves deeply but does not cling, he enjoys companionship but does not need it. When she departs, he does not crumble, instead, he transforms. He understands that every loss presents a chance to rebuild himself, stronger, sharper, and more disciplined than before. This journey is not about seeking revenge or proving her wrong, it's about evolving into your best self, the version of you that does not seek validation from anyone. This is the man who masters his emotions, who quietly builds his empire, and who walks away without a backward glance. That is the man who commands respect, the man she never anticipated. At this moment, you face two choices. You can either wallow in your pain, overanalyze, and continue to feed her ego, or you can sever the ties and embark on a transformation so profound that she cannot help but take notice. And believe me, she will notice. By the time you complete this journey, your thoughts will no longer dwell on her. Instead, she will be the one thinking about you. If you are prepared to detach, rebuild, and make her realize what she has lost, then like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control my emotions, not the world. Now, let's get started. First and foremost, the moment she left, you were reborn. When she walked away, the old version of you, the weak, emotionally dependent individual who sought her validation and relied on her presence, ceased to exist. But here's the crucial insight that many men overlook: heartbreak is not merely destruction, it is a rebirth. Pain serves as a forge, and right now, you are standing in the flames. The question is, will you allow it to consume you, or will you harness it to become something stronger? Many men squander this pivotal moment. They succumb to despair, drown in nostalgia, and allow regret to paralyze them, becoming mere shadows of their former selves as they chase after a ghost that has already moved on. In contrast, those who grasp the power of detachment utilize this pain as fuel. They redirect the emotional energy that was once wasted on her into pursuits that matter, whether that be hitting the gym, focusing on their goals, or cultivating discipline. This is your turning point. You can either let this moment break you or allow it to sharpen you into the man you were always destined to be. What she did not anticipate is this: she believed that leaving you would shatter your spirit. She thought you would remain stagnant, waiting and hoping. But what if, instead of pursuing her, you chose to pursue your own evolution? What if you rise so swiftly and powerfully that the man she left behind is no longer recognizable? She departed thinking she held all the power. Prove her wrong by showing that you no longer care. If you are ready to stop making decisions from a place of fear and dependency, then take the first step towards your transformation. If you find yourself in a position of vulnerability and are ready to reclaim your power, feel free to share your thoughts below. I have learned to master my emotions, they do not control me. Let's discuss the profound impact of disappearing completely. Few things unsettle a person more than an unexpected silence. When you choose to stop reaching out and go entirely quiet, you create a void that the other person never anticipated. When she left, she likely assumed you would respond in the typical manner, texting, calling, or even stalking her social media in search of closure. This is the pattern she is accustomed to, and it keeps her in a position of control. But what happens when you take a different approach? What if you vanish without a trace, leaving no final message or bitter social media post? Suddenly, the dynamics shift. Now, she is left wondering if you have moved on, if you are seeing someone else, and why you are not pursuing her. The absence you create compels her to confront a reality she was unprepared for, the realization that she may not have been as significant as she believed. Silence is a powerful tool, it conveys more than words ever could. It signals that you are not desperate, that you are not waiting around, and that you can walk away without a second thought. Once she senses this, she begins to question everything. Men who chase after women often lose respect, while those who choose to disappear create an air of mystery, something that consistently draws people back in. However, it's important to note that this is not about manipulation, it's about prioritizing your own well-being. Your energy should not be squandered on someone who has chosen to leave. Understand that true strength lies in detachment. Allow her to wonder, let her sit in the silence, and while she reflects on the past, you should be moving forward. If you are ready to stop investing your energy in those who do not appreciate it and are prepared to embrace the strength that comes from silence, please comment below. My absence speaks louder than words. Now, let's explore how to transform pain into power. Pain can be a formidable weapon, yet many men struggle to wield it effectively. Instead of using it to fuel their growth, they allow it to consume them, leaving them paralyzed and weak. They often find themselves drowning in sadness, replaying memories, and wasting countless hours staring at their phones, waiting for a message that will never arrive. This is not how a man should operate. A stoic man takes his pain and channels it into something constructive. He does not complain or dwell on his suffering. Instead, he harnesses every ounce of emotion, every sleepless night, and every moment of anger, redirecting that energy into building something greater, whether it's his physical fitness, financial stability, skills, or self-discipline. While she may be moving on, thinking you are wallowing in despair, you are actually transforming into a new, formidable version of yourself, stronger, sharper, and untouchable. Many men seek revenge in misguided ways, attempting to make their ex-partners jealous by posting cryptic messages or pretending to have moved on when they haven't. This approach is weak. True revenge is found in success. It's about walking past her months later, and she barely recognizes you, not just in terms of your appearance, but also mentally and emotionally. She left a man she thought she knew, but now you have evolved into a version of yourself that is so powerful and unfazed that she realizes she never truly had you to begin with. This is where many men falter, they remain stuck in their pain instead of using it as a catalyst for growth. They waste time waiting instead of actively building their future. You are not like most men. Every repetition in the gym, every hour spent working, and every new skill you acquire is part of your comeback story. It is your transformation. She may have left you feeling broken, but now you are rebuilding in ways she never anticipated. If you are ready to stop allowing pain to dictate your life and are prepared to turn it into your greatest strength, then embrace this journey. When it comes to relationships, it's important to understand the dynamics of emotional attachment and detachment. Women often do not long for the man who is constantly pleading for their attention or who is always available, hoping for another opportunity. Instead, they tend to miss the man who has the ability to withdraw completely, creating a sense of absence that they were not prepared for. At this moment, she might expect you to be thinking about her, checking her social media, or reaching out when you're feeling vulnerable. She may anticipate that you will remain fixated on the past while she moves forward with her life. However, when you choose not to engage in this cycle, when you stop reacting, stop checking in, and stop showing that you care, you create an emotional void that she never anticipated. This phenomenon is rooted in human nature. We often desire what we cannot have. When something that was once within our control suddenly becomes distant, we begin to crave it. This is precisely what occurs when you master the art of detachment. The moment you cease to react is when she starts to question, why isn't he pursuing me? Why isn't he reaching out? She may have felt confident about her decision to leave, but as doubt begins to creep in, she starts to reconsider her choices. This is a critical juncture where many men falter. The instant she reaches out, even with a simple message like hey or hope you're doing well, they often jump at the chance, interpreting it as a sign that she wants to rekindle the relationship. In reality, she is merely testing the waters to see if she still has access to you. If you respond or engage with her, she feels validated and may disappear again. This is why it is essential to maintain your boundaries and remain silent. You are not meant to be an option or a fallback. If she genuinely regrets losing you, let her demonstrate that. By the time she does, you may find that you no longer desire her presence in your life. If you are ready to break free from predictability and create a meaningful absence that speaks volumes, declare below, I am not an option, I am a lesson. Next, let's discuss the concept of indifference. There is nothing more potent than being indifferent. Not anger, not jealousy, and not even love can compare. The moment you exhibit indifference, when you stop caring, you transform into someone she never expected, unreachable. Many men mistakenly believe that hate is the opposite of love, but that is not the case. Hate still indicates that you care, it shows emotional investment, which is precisely what she anticipates. She expects you to be resentful, to send subtle messages online, or to act out in ways that confirm she still occupies your thoughts. The moment she detects any of this, she knows she still holds power over you. However, when she seeks a reaction and finds none, when she observes you moving on as if she never existed, that's when the reality of loss and regret begins to sink in. She will start to question her decisions. Was he really as invested in me as I believed? Did I even matter to him? Why does it feel like I lost something, even though I was the one who left? The beauty of indifference is that it compels individuals to confront their own choices, leading them to wonder if they made the right decision. This uncertainty can be quite tormenting. By the time she realizes what she has lost, you will have already progressed so much in your own life that her absence will no longer affect you. Your chapter with her will be closed, and you will be too focused on your personal growth to waste any thoughts on her. That is the essence of true indifference. Harnessing the power of stoicism is essential if you are ready to stop reacting impulsively and instead master the art of indifference. If you resonate with this idea, feel free to comment below with I am untouchable. Let's discuss the sixth principle, cultivating an unshakable mindset that keeps you ahead in life. Many men find themselves at a disadvantage, not because they lack capability, but due to a fragile mindset. They allow their emotions to dictate their actions, making choices driven by impulse, heartbreak, or an overwhelming desire for closure. This emotional turmoil is precisely what keeps them stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction. In contrast, a man with an unshakable mindset approaches life differently. He recognizes that emotions are fleeting, while discipline is enduring. Instead of reacting hastily, he takes a step back to observe the situation. He doesn't seek external validation, instead, he focuses on building his own self-worth. When faced with a breakup, he doesn't crumble, he adapts and moves forward. This mindset is not only beneficial in romantic relationships but also in all aspects of life. The reality is that this journey is not solely about her, it's about how you confront every challenge that arises. Do you succumb to pressure when faced with difficulties, or do you rise above your circumstances? Do you allow your emotions to steer your decisions, or do you take control of your responses? Women are naturally attracted to men who exhibit stability, self-assurance, and independence. They prefer the man who exudes quiet confidence over the one who constantly seeks approval. The man who doesn't chase after attention, who remains composed and doesn't beg for validation, is the one who truly understands his worth. Such a man is rare and unforgettable. Here's the truth, the stronger your mindset, the less you feel the need to prove yourself. When she observes that you remain unfazed and that you don't rely on her or anyone else for your sense of completeness, that's when she begins to feel regret. However, by that point, her feelings may no longer matter to you. If you are ready to stop making emotional decisions and strengthen your mindset, comment below with I control my mind, nothing controls me. Now, let's move on to the seventh principle, mastering the subtle art of absence. After a breakup, the most impactful action you can take is not to deliver a dramatic farewell, send a final message, or even say a cold goodbye. Instead, it is to embrace complete and utter absence. People often fail to appreciate what they have until it is no longer there. When a man truly disappears from a woman's life, removing himself so thoroughly that it feels as if he never existed, he cultivates something far more potent than anger or jealousy: curiosity. Curiosity can be a powerful force. It plants a seed in her mind, prompting her to wonder about you, to reminisce about past moments, and to ask herself questions she hadn't considered before. Has he moved on? Does he even care? Was he always this strong, or did I simply overlook it? Many men struggle with this concept because they cannot resist the urge to check in or break the silence. They may feel compelled to share cryptic posts or attempt to evoke jealousy, but this behavior is a sign of weakness. True power lies in complete detachment: no messages, no lurking, no reactions. When she tries to provoke a response from you, you don't just leave, you erase your presence from her reality. When she finally realizes that she has no access to you, that's when the regret begins to set in. The power dynamic shifts, and she starts to feel the loss, recognizing that you are not as easily replaceable as she once thought. The best part? You are too busy focusing on your own growth to even care. If you are ready to stop being predictable and make your absence a powerful statement, comment below with "My silence is my power." Finally, let's explore the 8th principle: reinventing yourself beyond recognition. The most effective form of revenge is not about proving her wrong, it's about transforming into someone she wouldn't even recognize. Right now, she's convinced she has you figured out: your habits, vulnerabilities, and limitations. But imagine 6 months from now, when the person she walked away from no longer exists. Not just upgraded, but wholly transformed. Most men stumble here by chasing visible validation: gym selfies, performative social media posts about their amazing progress. That's not strength, it's insecurity. Authentic evolution doesn't seek applause. It's quiet, undeniable, and self-evident. Forget merely working out, craft a physique that commands attention without effort. Don't just land a better job, forge financial sovereignty so unshakable that no one, especially not her, can sway your stability. This isn't about shallow confidence boosts, it's cultivating such unshakable self-assurance that your focus shifts entirely from her to your own trajectory. The goal isn't to provoke jealousy, it's to render her irrelevant. When she eventually notices your absence, hears whispers of your achievements, or glimpses the version of you that's now untouchable, the dynamic flips. You won't crave closure, she'll grapple with regret, wondering how she let you go. By then, you'll have moved beyond caring. If you're tired of being predictable and ready to become unrecognizable, declare it below: I evolve beyond the past. Here's the twist: when she circles back, and she will, you won't want her. It might take weeks or months, but your silence, mystery, and refusal to chase will gnaw at her ego. That "Hey, how are you?" text. It's not nostalgia, it's confusion. She expected you to still be pining, not thriving without her. This is where many falter: they interpret her outreach as victory, reply eagerly, and forfeit their hard-earned power. Not you. By then, your growth will have reshaped your priorities so profoundly that rekindling old flames will feel absurd. You won't react with bitterness, you'll feel nothing. The woman you once longed for fit a former self. The new you, resilient, sharp, unstoppable, doesn't need her validation. That's when clarity hits her: she lost you for good. If you're prepared to leave the past behind, proclaim: the past has no hold on me. Final note: choose indifference over closure. She might request a talk to ease her guilt or rewrite history. Don't bite. Closure is a myth, a trap that reopens healing wounds. Real remorse means sitting with the consequences of one's choices, not seeking absolution through your forgiveness. When someone truly regrets losing you, they don't demand explanations. They face the silence. It's perfectly acceptable to recognize that providing someone with peace of mind is not your responsibility. Many men yearn for that final conversation, believing it will offer them some form of relief. However, this is often a misconception. Such discussions typically serve only to grant her one last moment of control and an opportunity to gauge whether she still has an impact on you. The instant she detects even the faintest hint of uncertainty in your demeanor, she feels victorious. The most powerful action you can take is to refrain from explaining yourself, to avoid responding, and to withhold anything from her. Silence, in this context, becomes the only genuine form of closure. By choosing not to engage, you allow her to confront the stark reality of your absence. You are no longer present, not out of bitterness or lingering hope, but simply because you have moved on completely and permanently. At this stage, the focus shifts away from her and centers on you. You have progressed beyond the need for validation and have reached a point where her opinions no longer hold significance. The ultimate gesture is not a grand farewell or an emotional declaration, it is the act of walking away without glancing back. If you have reached the point where you no longer feel the need to justify your actions and are prepared to close that chapter for good, then feel free to express that sentiment. You owe no explanations. By now, you have come to understand the reality of the situation. She never anticipated that you would rise above your circumstances, she assumed you would remain stagnant, waiting for her return. Instead, you have transformed into someone who is untouchable, not through manipulation or games, but by genuinely letting go. You have mastered your emotions, converting your pain into strength, and have reinvented yourself to such an extent that you are almost unrecognizable. In this transformation, you have become a man who attracts rather than chases. Now, it is her turn to experience the feelings of loss, to reflect, and to regret. But here's the most liberating aspect, it no longer matters. This journey has never been about her, it has always been about you. It's about evolving into a person who is so disciplined, focused, and powerful that no one, neither she nor anyone else, can unsettle you again. You do not require closure, nor do you seek validation. You do not need her to return and admit that she made a mistake, because deep down, she is already aware of what she has lost. By the time she fully comprehends the gravity of her loss, you will have moved so far ahead that her realization will hold little significance for you. If you are finished with the chase and ready to embrace your own power, feel free to declare that you are the prize. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay strong and focused. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.